Okay, we're on part 3 of quotes by Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde said, "The fact is, civilization requires slaves. The Greeks were right. Unless there are slaves to do the ugly, horrible, uninteresting work, culture and contemplation become almost impossible. Human slavery is wrong and demoralizing, but it is mechanical slavery. On the slavery of the machine, the future of the world depends." This idea of an educated aristocratic class and then a whole bunch of, in Russia it was the serfs, there was a feudal system, there were the, plebeians, and the ancient Greeks did have slaves. And there has to be a way to free up some people to be educated. The machines could do it. Capitalism could do it. Christianity, capitalism, and a constitution, that's what does it. Oscar Wilde, "I will be a poet or a writer or a dramatist. Somehow I'm going to be famous. And if I'm not famous, I will be notorious." He knew right since he was a teenager he wanted to be famous. When he was asked what he read in prison, he said, "I read Dante every day in Italian, and all through. It was his Inferno, above all, that I read. How could I not help like it? Cannot you guess? Hell is where we were. Prison was hell." Okay, Oscar Wilde. "One's real life is often the life that one does not lead." Yeah, a lot of people, you spend 1/3 of your life asleep in bed. You spend 1/3 of your life at a job, which a lot of people don't like, just to make money. And then that last third, which is taken up in large part by eating, commuting, that's your free life. Maybe. Okay, from the Portrait of Dorian Gray. "One cures the soul with the senses and the senses with the soul. Those who can see beautiful things in beautiful things are the cultivated." Now, there's some truth about that, because you can say, why get educated? Why read these books if you're not going to make money from it? And what I would say is they bring a great joy and pleasure in life to be educated, and they're very interesting. And also, you developed a much more sophisticated ability to speak, to write, to think. It's nice to have that. You have a lot of fun. Like, I have a lot of fun joking around. I can't even joke around at all on the internet like I can joke around in person, and just playing and teasing and joking. I'm constantly having a good time. It reminds me, like I said, my mother was like that, always cracking jokes, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, I had a guy say that to me just today. He says, you can't escape all the pain and suffering of life. Thank God we joke around, otherwise life would be misery, just the misery without the fun stuff. Okay, I listened to the Portrait of Dorian Gray audiobook back when I was 56 years of age, a long time ago. And it was very erudite, pleasant to listen to, a bunch of aristocrats chatting and playing word games, kind of clever, trivial chatter. Not a whole lot of purpose in it. I wasn't that big a fan of the book. In order for me to really love a book, I have to be caught up more in the characters. But they were clever and funny. I liked Importance of Being Earnest better than Portrait of Dorian Gray. Okay, let's see here. Oscar Wilde, "Celebrity is contagious. Praise local celebrities. Go and meet them if you want to publicize yourself. The artist is the creator of beautiful things. It is only shallow people who do not judge by appearances." Everybody judges by appearances. Come on. "Young men want to be faithful, and they are not. Old men want to be unfaithful, and they cannot. Misfortunes one can endure. They come from the outside. They are accidents. But to suffer for one's faults, there's the sting of life." I think that's true too. The main thing I felt sad about and bothered me is that it was my own fault that I didn't use better judgment in my wrestling career. Coming back too soon and getting re-injured. I was so mad at myself for years, decades. Oscar Wilde continues, "It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious." Oscar Wilde, "Nothing seeds like success. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all." Okay, the last quote for this session. Well, there's actually 3 in a row tight here. "A pessimist is someone who complains about the noise when opportunity knocks." Yeah, it's like all these people, the only thing that can cure them, these fat people, hypertensive, diabetics, coronary artery disease, and a lot of other problems, low-fat vegan diet, and they don't want it. It's like, all right, pal, have fun. You get some. There's plenty of doctors want to sell you drugs or chop you up with surgery. Oscar Wilde, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking up at the stars." And then he said, "I have single-handedly civilized America by spreading the gospel of art." All right, that's it for Oscar today.